Hi guys, Mollusk here, and I thought I'd give my reflection on how League of Legends Season 12 went for me. So I keep track of the games ranked that I play on both my main account and my tryout stuff account, and I think it's quite interesting to look back through the data and see what patterns there were, if my memory matches what the numbers seem to say. And so let's dig into it. So on this page of my Excel spreadsheet, I have how many games it took me to get whatever rank I got over the years. So I played last season. It was for the first time I started playing ranked. So I started as playing Wukong top, and I think I started like Bronze 2. I played like 30 games to Bronze and got into Bronze 1, and it didn't feel like 30 games is nothing. I played against people who've towards the end of this season they played 1,000 games. 30 is absolutely nothing. But I didn't feel I was having a lot of impact. I really like playing Wukong. He's such a fun champion. And he was really strong at the time as well. I just didn't feel I was having the impact on games that I wanted to. And so I switched to playing Swain. Swain was a champion that I play with my friends. At the time I was playing in a support role with my friend group, and I was doing well with Swain support, so I started playing him in ranked, and honestly it was overnight I shot up. So I played 19 games that got me into Silver 4 as I was starting to warm up to Swain in ranked. And I skipped Silver 3, and after 25 games since I started playing Swain, I hit Silver 2, and that's sort of where I stopped. I stopped mainly because my friend, who was a Pantheon main, also plays Lux and Veigar in mid. He just sped run up from a starting, I don't know what it was, Bronze 2 probably. And skipped Silver 3, went straight to Silver 2, and then by his account he was kind of he felt like he was one of the weakest people on his teams, and he dropped, playing in Silver 2, and then he dropped all the way back down to Bronze 2, Bronze 3 over the course of the season, and quite quickly dropped back down to there, and then just couldn't get out of it. And I worried that the same would happen to me. That I just had an easy run of games, and so that's kind of largely the reason why I stopped playing. So I wanted to keep my account up at that rank. So going into season 12, my goal was to hit gold. I want to, I feel I'm sort of, I felt I was nearly ready for gold, and that I just needed to play more games. And basically, I did the same things I did the first season. So on my main account, I had such a bad run of placement games. I started in Bronze 4 and skipped Bronze 3 by 26 games. Playing only Kindred. I didn't win a single game of ranked this season that wasn't on Kindred. 26 games, got to Silver 4, skipped Silver 3, and 33 games I got to Silver 2. And again, I stopped. So I got Silver 2, and then the sustain patch came. So Champion Sustain was nerfed, and my build, kind of the way I play Kindred, relied quite a lot on lifesteal. And so I was like, okay, right, I'm going to park the account here. I'm going to play on my second account, and I'm gonna feel out these changes. So yeah, and at the same time, as this kind of like item change patch happened, I also, I've been watching videos on YouTube of kind of like better kindreds than me, and kind of the consensus was, Conqueror is the keystone to go. That's the way to go. Press the attacks for noobs, and so I'd always played with press the attack, and so I wanted to experiment with Conqueror, see what happened, and I don't know what it was. Could have been Conqueror, could have been the item changes. I also just didn't feel I was playing as well as I had been, and yeah, it did not go well. But I guess we can go into that. So basically about 30 games, or in this case, once I started playing a champion I could pressure appropriately with, about 30 games to Silver 2. So yeah, did not hit gold, sadly, but didn't play enough at all to deserve to. I'm not even sure I played well enough to deserve to, but for sure I was playing against silver and gold players the entire time, or players whose accounts have been in silver or gold or platinum for multiple years. So I was playing on the second account to test out the changes, but also to prove to myself that I could reliably hit silver. I could reliably get out of bronze and into silver, because when you're on kind of the high MMR and you're skipping divisions, and I'm not playing very many games, so I'm just like, am I just on a lucky streak? Am I actually playing to this level, or am I just getting lucky and riding the high MMR artificially inflated up? And so I wanted to, if I can repeat the process, if I can reliably go from bronze to silver, then I can be happy that I'm playing at the silver level, and it's not just me being inflated up to that point. And so then I can sort of secure that understanding of my level, and then start to the idea is, okay, then I'll start, once I've got into silver again, and just proven to myself I can do it reliably, I'll start playing in the high silver games, and learn against these better players, and see if we can get into gold. And honestly, the whole time I was playing against gold players anyway, so I have definitely overcome part of my ranked anxiety in terms of, am I good enough? Am I fluking into silver 2? And I'm perfectly happy now that I can play to a high silver, maybe gold level, and I just need to prove that next season. So if we look specifically at my kindred, I tracked all of my kindred games across both my accounts, and collected all the data here. Things like which jungler I faced, did I win or lose, what rating did the post game lobby give me, what rating did op.gg give me, things like my op.gg score, kills, deaths, assists, the damage I did, kill participation, CS per minute, that kind of thing. I was tracking my rune numbers as well, but I gave up on that because it just wasn't useful to me. The only thing that made a difference was the keystone. So where I started playing with Conqueror around these games, I was losing quite a lot, and it could have been the change, it could have been the change in keystone that I wasn't used to, it could have been change in items, could have been I wasn't playing very well in these games comparatively, who knows, but that was a thing I noticed. So Final Olympic rank, Silver 2. I played 88 games. I had a 57.5% win rate, which is pretty nice. I quite like, that's obviously good to have. This was quite different between the accounts. Like my main account, I had nearly I think it was like a 68% win rate, something like that. My second account, for a lot of the time, it was like 40%, and I picked it up towards the end with more wins. So yeah, quite a difference between the accounts, but can't complain about that. I'm sort of interested that in 40% of my games I get an S- or above. So I feel I'm doing something the game considers to be, good. Also, nearly 50% of the games I play, I get either the MVP or the ace from op.gg. That's not, I've seen it give MVPs and or aces and stuff to players that, in my judgment, were definitely not. So it's by no means a guarantee that I was playing. I was the most impactful player, but it happens a lot. So I think I'm doing something that op.gg likes anyway. Kills, deaths, and assists. I want this. I'd like this to be lower. I feel like actually I haven't been dying very much, at least recently. And I think I wasn't dying very much towards the start of the season either. It's just this. There was a period where I think this was the Conqueror period. Where things weren't going very well for me. So I'm happy that I don't tend to die very much, but I'd like to keep that up and get this a bit lower. This has changed. Why has that changed? Anyway, so I have 49% kill participation, which I'd like to be higher. I think aiming for like a 55% would be, I think, reasonable. So I often do. Where's the kill? Kill suspicions over here. Yeah, like I feel like I can do better. I feel like I can do better. Need to be more involved, gank more successfully earlier, in particular. Get that up. 5.9 CS per minute. I would like it to be higher. I'd like it to be in the 6s. I feel like I do farm well. So yeah, but clearly it needs to be a bit higher. So this is sort of interesting. So I watched a video where Nice was talking with his. He put up a video and he was talking with his chat about like what percentage or what proportion of games do they feel they really get trolled. And the answer kind of they sort of settling on was like between 3% and 10%. That sort of like 3%, 10% of their games, which I think is quite interesting. So in total, I counted 11% of my games as being disrupted, and this counts for like both when it's on my team and when it's on the enemy team. Any instance of disruption, like legitimate disruption, I make a note of. And I sort of break this, so like 11% of games, which is quite high, I think. Like 1 in 10 of games get disrupted by some measure, and of that, or at least of my total games, it's usually trolls, not so often Smurfs. And like Smurfs is difficult because the nature of the game is if you get ahead and you don't do something ridiculous like try to fight the enemy 1v5 in front of their base turrets on repeat, which people do, like it's hard to tell, right? Like you can look like a Smurf, if you get ahead, your opponent could make several crucial mistakes. You get ahead and you look like a Smurf, right? And so it's really difficult to tell. So these are sort of like, as best as I can confirm, definitely Smurfs. Like one of them, the jungle Ivan, was multi-season diamond player. the bot lane was a Senna that speed ran from bot lane to enemy nexus, like literally just her and her support in like 22 minutes. I've never seen anyone be able to do stuff like that before. I can't even do that against bots. So yeah, like definite confirmed cases of smurfing, and doesn't really seem to be. I mean, I guess these are the most impactful roles, right? Bot, you could argue, is impactful by the kind of dint of them just not feeding out of their minds. Like if you don't die on loop on bot, you're doing a good job. Trolls, most of the trolls that I got were top laners. Interestingly enough, I had a few kind of mid lanes that kind of AFK'd after they died the first time, but normally it's my top laner being extremely toxic or just AFKing or following me around the jungle trying to take my camps. Yeah, so I'm gonna be honest, if it was any lane, any role that was going to troll me, I'd want it to be top lane, because it's not like it doesn't matter. You mostly lose the game when people do it, but it takes the longest for the effect to become like noticeable. And the longer you have to try to close out the game, get into a good position, the better, right? Like if bot and sup are feeding their tits off, it makes it so impossible. Like it's such a hard game when the bot lane is drip feeding the enemy, and obviously jungle can make a big difference if they're kind of not outputting the same pressure as the enemy is, that sort of thing. And I've got control of that, for my part at least. Yeah, so I thought it was interesting that top for me is tends to be the problem, and wouldn't have it any other way. So what about the champions I've been facing? Well, I've played 88 games. I've faced 34 unique different champions, which I think is pretty good actually. I think that shows a fair amount of healthy diversity. I don't know how many champions are junglers, or like considered meta junglers, but honestly, I would have thought it would be less. Because you sort of tend to think that you see the same champions all the time. So I think that's not bad for diversity. My most faced was by far Kayn. Kayn in low elo is just ever present. Given that I ban Master Yi every game, I'd face a lot of Kayns because obviously I don't ban it. And yeah, so Kayn, I guess he's a cool champion, right? He's so fucking anime, but he's cool. He's got really unique and powerful abilities. Like he farms really fast, but he has one of the best gank potential of any jungler, period, because he can appear anywhere he wants to in the lane, and laners do not play any different if there's a Kayn or a Karthus or whatever else. They just fight endlessly. So Kayn can just rock up whenever he wants, get into position to be useful, and just kills laners. They never ward. They never look at their wards. They never look at my wards for them. They don't listen to my pings. Kayn just kills people, and if he goes red Kayn, he's a monster, right? Like you just roll your. I'm sure he is. Yeah, I am sure he actually does take a level of skill to play. But red Kayn is just. It seems very forgiving. I'll put it that way. I suspect it does take some skill to play Kayn. But oh my goodness, once you've got a red Kayn in your game, it's just like, oh, because he just doesn't fucking die. And when I was playing, I played a bit of Rengar in the pre-season, and when I was playing Wukong and things like Swain before. Kayn is just a nightmare because he can tank all your damage and kill you, and it's very difficult to deal with Red Kayn. Playing Kindred, I have faced less. I mean, you still mostly face Red Kayn, but I've faced less Red Kayn and more Blue Kayn, which is perfect because no one can play Blue Kayn. Blue Kayn, if Blue Kayn wins the game in low elo, it's probably because the team was going to win anyway, right? Like Red Kayn wins games that Red Kayn would have the Kayn team would have otherwise lose with Kayn wasn't doing all the ridiculous stuff that he was. But Blue Kayn, he will actively lose games rather than actively win them. And Kindred sort of like pushes him towards going Blue Kayn because she's ranged, and they thinks, squishy target, and they can't time their ult versus my ult properly, so my ult will save me and fuck them. So yeah, so like I've gone from hating Kayn because I can't ban him because I ban Master Yi, and like him reliably just eating my team, to I've won 9 games against him and lost 4. He's the jungler I am statistically best against. So pretty happy with that I've sort of overcome my Kayn bugbear this season. And my worst matchup has been Hecarim. So yeah, what can I say? Hecarim is just oppressive. It's very difficult as Kindred to outrun the bastard. Like, I can wall hop, but I've got to, I've got to be in position to get to the wall or be near the wall, and he can often just like run around it and catch me up anyway. Hecarim is a beast, and I need to work out a way of dealing with him because I think he's going to be pretty strong in Season 13 as well. So this last little table is kind of the non-Kindred games I played, which weren't counted towards this win rate and these stats actually. So my win rate will be slightly lower, for the whole account. This is just my Kindred number of games and win rates. But I really didn't play very many other champions at all, and I didn't win any games on any of those other champions, even though I think Diana is so easy, so strong, and I sort of have I feel I have a good read on how to play her, and I feel like I've got a lot of impact on her. And I didn't actually, surprisingly, so Sejuani is also my sort of like other go-to if Kindred gets banned. I think I only played her in ranked flex then. But yeah, like, so I feel my Diana and I feel my Sejuani are pretty solid. I'd honestly think they would be like more reliable, more solid than my Kindred, but stats speak for themselves. Like I don't seem to win much on them, even though I feel like I would be confident taking Diana and Sejuani into a ranked game. I guess with Sejuani, I lack. She does great damage for a tank, and like I certainly feel she earns an honourable mention as like a carry tank. But for whatever reason, I'm not able to close out the game quite as well as I am with Kindred with Sejuani, and I think Diana maybe just a bit unlucky that game. So yeah, that was my season 12, and I think I had a pretty good season. I'm pretty happy with that looking back. I regret that I wasn't able to overcome my ranked anxiety and didn't play enough games, and I don't regret playing on the second account, like getting to Silver 2 with the first account and then parking that and going back with the other one. I do feel I had the potential to reach gold if I just kept playing on the main account. But similarly, I needed to prove to myself that I wasn't just fluking into silver and could repeat it, and I've now repeated that like 2 seasons on 2 accounts both times. So yeah, I can put that to bed in my mind now and move on to concentrating on improving next season. Really, the goal for next season is to not care about winning, to not care about the LP and the rank, as that is sort of the kind of the core of my ranked anxiety, right? That's what makes I don't really enjoy playing ranked. If I'm going to be brutally dead honest, it feels like a chore. Like I'll come home and I feel tired from work or whatever else, and just that thought that I should probably play ranked this evening is just a drag, and I'd rather watch YouTube videos or do something else instead. And but at the same time, I love the game and I love playing it, and I particularly love playing Kindred. So there's that kind of juxtaposition there that I need to get over, and I feel the way to do that is just to play the game, to learn and improve at Kindred and express myself as Kindred on the Rift, rather than caring about whether I win or lose the rank game, and whether or not I will hit my rank goal. I'll get a particular rank or not. That really has to not matter, and I don't know how to do it, but I think like just blitzing through the end game screen. Maybe I need to not make this database next year and just play games, not care about the results, just care about the feeling of the process of playing, and enjoying playing Kindred. So yeah, that's what I'm going to try to do next season. I feel now from this season that I play to a level that's good enough to get to gold if I can maintain it, and maybe get a bit lucky. So if I could just play to enjoy myself, then I should naturally have a chance of getting to kind of the rank that I'd want to be. So that's my kind of philosophy, I think, going into season 13. Just try to be the best Kindred I can, and try to enjoy the games and don't care about winning or losing. So yeah, that's been my thoughts and my data for this for season 12, and I'll catch you on the next one. Take care.